Thank you very much. Students, very good evening to all of you all. I'm sure you all are doing great. I'm sure the journey of CA is adding great values, great knowledge, and also it is creating a ripple effect in your minds, also in your lives. When I say ripple effect, what I mean is that the moment a person enters a CA journey, the entire life changes. It is not only because of the level of studies involved, but because of the wisdom, the maturity, the exposure that our course grants to all of us. I'm sure from the time you have entered CA and started studying, you would have experienced many things, you have learned many things, you have got to know so many real life practical aspects, how economy runs, how businesses take various decisions. And I'm sure this particular knowledge you will not get in any other curriculum. So let us continue this journey with a new subject, which is new to everyone. It was introduced very recently. It is still 8.5-year-old baby called as GST. But before that, I have an important announcement to make. So tomorrow, that is 21st of January 2026, there is a comprehensive 30-hour online program by the name Insight into Audit, Bridging Theory with Practice. So the session will start from tomorrow. As I mentioned, it is a total 30-hour online program, and this program shall be conducted every Wednesday and every Saturday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tomorrow being a Wednesday, so tomorrow this program will be launched. I repeat, it is Insight into Audit, Bridging Theory with Practice. And it is a total 30-hour session. Now, what is the purpose of this session? The purpose is understanding of auditing and the ethics. I'm sure you all would have studied by now, those who ever have studied audit, that there are some ethics provided in audit. So these things would be covered. And most important, this will be done not only by going through the theoretical part, but by taking some real world, actual professional case studies and integrating them with all these principles of auditing, all the ethical provisions, so that you get a comprehensive understanding and, as the name is, a proper practical insight into the subject of audit. So mark your calendars. This particular 30-hour online program starts tomorrow. It will be held between 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Wednesday and every Saturday. Fine? Okay. Sudarshan, I'm sure it should be hosted on our web portal only. But if not, then I'll request Manishji if we can share some link of this particular program. You can please check and post the link here, sir. Yeah. So yes, very good evening, Navneet. Good evening, uh, Karpaga Priya. Good evening, Dhanalakshmi, Rashmi, Sudarshan, Arpita. Arpita is asking that recorded program or videos will be available. I believe since it is our own BOS program, it should be available in the similar fashion how you have the other sessions. Yes, good evening, Arthur, Shri Raksha, Mustafa, Harsh. I think it is direct message only, Om. Nidhi, Nitin, Yasumi, Veerashri, Ina, Nikunj, Ali. Yes, good evening. Very, very good evening. Manishji, can we allow students to message everyone?
Already allowed.
Yeah, fine. So students, whenever you are posting a query, please put it in message to everyone so that it becomes easy for all others also to uh, know the query so that when I'm answering, it will be easy for everyone to comprehend. Okay, so you all are studying GST for the first time, right? Whom you wanted to message something, you can message me. Even the direct message option will be open, so you can even use that option despite we enabling the everyone option. Still, the direct message option is always open. So, students, we are studying. We means you are studying GST for the first time. Manish ji has posted. Nidhi, who has posted this? Yes, our technical team has posted the link. So this is sir for what, sir? Telegram for? Acha, so for the tomorrow session also details students will get from there, right, sir? Okay, fine. Oh yes, very good morning, Anjum. So Anjum, I suppose you are in US. So no worries. It is good to have people joining us from different parts of the globe. So it's okay, beta. Nothing to be sorry. I just took this opportunity to lighten the moment. It happens with me also. In fact, just 15 minutes before the same thing happened with me, I was talking to Shefali ma'am, and when I called up for greeting, I just said, "Good morning, ma'am." So it happens. That's very fine. And it's okay. There's nothing to be sorry about it. Yes. Good evening, Nilesh, Anshul. Home. You had something, you may put it. Fine. So we all are studying GST for the first time. Okay. Before I take you all to GST, which I have not shared my screen. 1 second. Now, before I take you all to the journey of GST, let me first share Dhanlakshmi July 25 edition of GST module is okay. Yeah, don't worry, na, but see, anyways, whatever is available, Dhanalakshmi, you refer that. And please, whenever your exam comes, you should check the portal for the statutory updates that we post. We post it exam wise. So you have to check those statutory updates. If they are there in your module, great. If not, kindly mark it. Fine. Yes. Good evening, Gargi, Divya, everyone. Very good evening. So let us start. So now we are starting with GST. But before that, I would like to take you to the entire journey of how taxation evolved. Um, have I ever discussed with you the history of taxation, how taxation started, from where it has started? Just you can say why or in. Yes, students, have I ever uh, given you the history of taxation? Okay, no, good. Chalo then, let us go to something just slightly uh, drifting from our subject of GST to the subject of history. You know what is history? It is his story. History is not a name. It is a combination of two words. It is somebody's story. That is his story. So that is why many people do not pronounce it as history, which we do. It is his story. Now, today, whose story we are going to study? The story of tax and in India. Now, many times we have this misprint in our minds and hearts that everything developmental, everything progressive was started by Britishers only. And before Britishers, we were all only hunters and we were all only snake charmers and we knew nothing. But let me tell you, when so-called Vasco da Gama came to India, firstly, one more historical point, he never discovered India. He was directed, his ship was, or rather his boat was directed by a very big ship of Mr. Patel, who was also on a mission outside for some trade, where Vasco da Gama met him because he was on his journey looking out for country. And there he was not finding the route to India. So Mr. Patel's ship guided him to Indian port where he landed first time. And however, the history is written in a different manner that he discovered India. Fine. We are not getting into all those stuff because that is not our subject. Aditi says, your face is not visible. Oh, acha, am I not visible? Okay, maybe Aditi just check at your end. So even long back, we had taxation. Earlier, it was called as kar, and that is why you'll find a word called as kar niti, that is taxation policies. So, original introduction of tax was brought in, or it was started in India long, long back. What was the objective of tax? See, earlier when humans were living in caves in forest, there was no socialization. Later on, when we decided to form a society culture, so a very important thing was that workload was divided. So strong people, men, women, would be safeguarding the borders of your kabila, of your group, and other people were working like they were farming, they were engaged in other things. But it was also important that these people who are not engaged in any economic activity, their family should also be fed. So a proper structure was required, how a society would be run. So certain rules were required to be formed. These rules had the provision of tax, though not formally. So I'm just giving you a very, very far off historical insight as to what led to origin of tax. So what was decided is that everybody will contribute some money out of whatever they earn. In fact, at that time, it may not even be in money form. So everybody will contribute, like somebody will give clothes, somebody will give earthen pots, somebody will give food, and that would be given to these people who are protecting their group. So that was how you can say, not very formally, the concept of taxation started. I'm talking about our country, India, because we were the one who first had business, who had first all systems, and then when these people, the Western countries, they started exploring and they found us, we were already developed. This you can find from so many of our historical details, like when you see Mahabharata, when you see Ramayana and other historical uh, those eras emperor stories. When you read, you'll get to know ki where we were, how much riches we had, and what type of culture and what type of rules and regulations we had. Now, it was formally charged for the first time by I'm forgetting the name of that. Yeah, Vikram, if I'm right. He's from that same. He's the same emperor where we have these stories of Tenali Rama, if I'm rightly remembering the name. So he is the first emperor who formally started taxes in India, and at that time it was called as Kar. Then we all have a very renowned name. When you go to Chanakya's era, you find that since at that time the empire was expanded and there was a huge empire to be run. Hence, many rules, many policies were to be framed. So, as a policy, Chanakya had formulated a taxation policy so that every distant areas which were under the rule of this kingdom, they would contribute something to the main Raja, and that is how the entire administration used to happen. So these are the historical references. Now, fast forwarding it to when Britishers came. When Britishers came, India already had a tax. And for this, I'll give you a proof, which I'm sure you all will agree more because you all have seen it. That is the movie Lagan. Even before Britishers had come, we had a taxation, and at that time, it was called as Lagan. See, there were no multiple taxes, there was single tax. Later on, when Britishers started ruling India, and more than ruling, when they started exploiting India, they introduced various taxes. If I have to give you a brief lineup of what taxes they had introduced, then let me tell you, Lagan, they were also recovering, as we saw in the movie. But they introduced income tax. Anybody knows how, when income tax was first introduced in India? Krishna Dev Raya. Correct. Krishna Dev Raya is the right, not Vikramaditya. It is Krishna Dev Raya. Thank you. Yes, Aditi. So it is not Vikramaditya. It is Krishna Dev Raya. Yes. Anybody knows how we had income tax? You will be shocked also, amazed also to know income tax in India was not introduced as a tax, it was introduced as a punishment. Punishment for the 1857 revolt. And it was introduced in the year 1860. So after this revolt, of which you have studied in history, the Britishers decided to, no, but 1961 is the present law. So Britishers decided to punish Indians for the losses they incurred because when we revolted, they also faced pecuniary losses. Their army men were, we shot them. Then many of their arms and ammunitions were looted. Some of their places were vandalized, destroyed. So as a punishment, they imposed a tax on us, which was income tax, and it was first started in the year 1860. Just giving you more details. Then the next law, a proper income tax law, was passed in 1990. See, in between also there were amendments. I'm giving the major dates. And then we had the law which you are studying today. And then finally, from next batch, the law that you will be studying is 2025. This is the history of income tax. Then they introduced sales tax. Now, interestingly, if you know, Britishers wanted to export many spices and many things from India, for which India was famous and from which the Britishers could earn revenue. Out of these, two major things which could be exported was tobacco and also salt. Now, these two things had huge foreign markets, but it was also having good consumption in India. So, to prevent Indians from consuming it so that Britishers had more to export, they decided to impose taxes. That is how they brought the concept of sales tax. So sales tax was first introduced on the commodity of tobacco. Yes, thank you, Prajyot. You may put such details in the message too also that everybody will get to know. So Prajyot has given the exact date of income tax. It is 24 July 1860. You may even Google the other dates if by chance you can get. Yes, by James Wilson. Very good. So please put all these things in message to all, not only to me, so that everybody will get the details. Aditi, you want to say something, beta?
No, sir, actually, I just wanted to ask something. Like, is these dates or like history is gonna be asked in the exams?
Aditi beta, see, my approach of teaching is different. I do not start with the subject, I start with the logic and the basics, right? Whatever I'm teaching, maybe it may not at all be relevant for exams. In fact, this is not at all relevant. In fact, the dates in GST also are not relevant, which we are going to start after 15 minutes. But this is something which I have done a lot of research during my study days. In fact, today you have Google, I did not have Google. So we had only option of reading books. So I used to search for books, and these are the things. I'm sure even the Google will give the same answer. I've never tried it in Google, but I studied it with different books, and this I'm giving you only for your reference, enlightenment, so that in case when, see, in the morning, if you were there, I'd said that CA is what? CA is God, God of five subjects. One of them is taxes, a major subject, right?
Yes, sir.
So God
Yes,
knows
sir.
everything. So you should know everything, na?
Okay, sir.
Right?
Okay.
So don't worry,
Thank you, sir.
everything. Don't be so pressed that you need to learn these dates for exam. Wherever it is relevant for exams, I'll inform you. Okay, I also take this opportunity, students, to inform you one thing, that in order to upgrade yourself, you should always attend conferences. And there are many student conferences which are hosted by ICAI. In fact, I'm very pleased to announce that we have a national conference in my present resident city where I'm presently residing, that is Nashik. We are having it in the last week of January. And over there, you can also be paper presenter. And the most important thing is you will have students coming from across India because it is a national conference. Nashik is a very beautiful city. If any of you are planning, you can just go to the website and get yourself enrolled. And if you are coming here, just put me a message. I would like to be your host. But please do attend conferences. You get a lot of knowledge, and most importantly, you get to know what is the future of your CA course, what are the brightest opportunities that our course is giving. And also you get to know people from across India. You have these speakers coming from across India. You have students coming from across India. And this network helps a lot when you start your career, because today one of the biggest things that you require in your career is networking, knowing people, especially from different parts. Okay, so coming back to the point. So sales tax was on tobacco. It was introduced for the first time. Yes, Mustafa. So what you're asking, sales tax, I guess. So yes, it is tobacco. I did not get your question, Mustafa, what you're asking. Then you had something called as excise and salt tax. I'm sure in your history books you would have studied Dandi March by our very beloved Mahatma Gandhi ji. So this Dandi March was against this tax, where we have a scene where Gandhi ji goes to the beach and he lifts the salt in his fingers. That was a symbolic this to the government that we are not accepting your salt tax. So, but salt, that Dandi March is not for salt, not for sales tax, it is for excise and salt tax. That is why after this Dandi March, this word salt was dropped from the excise, and then you only had the central excise tax, right? Also, we had customs. Now, interestingly, this cur or this tax, which was earlier levied, was actually majorly customs. Now, interestingly, there is a logic why the word custom is used. In fact, there is a logic for many things, like why excise is used, because excise word is derived from the word excisum. Excisum means to cut. In Latin word, excisum means to cut. And earlier manufacturing used to happen majorly by cutting and fixing. There at those times there were not high-tech machines. So cutting and fixing was the main step in manufacture. So that is how excise word had come into existence. How custom word has come, because see, custom means tradition. Now again, if you watch the movies where the movies on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj or Maharana Pratap or Rani Lakshmi Bai, when you watch these historical movies or the serials made on them, you will find that there is always a scene that whenever a new person comes to meet the Raja, especially a trader who wants permission from the Raja to do trade in that particular Raja's country, so he brings gifts along with him in plates, and these gifts are offered to the Raja. And only after accepting the gifts, the Raja gives the permission. This is, I'm sure, you all would have seen this movie scene. Now, interestingly, it was a tradition at that time that you had to give gifts to the Raja, and the gift was nothing but a type of tax. That, okay, I want to trade in these things, so I'm giving some part of this to you as tax. So, this is how entry tax was introduced, which was named as customs only. So, this is how different taxes originated. Now, fast forwarding it to post independence. So, post independence, I'm sure you all have studied this. Broadly, there are two types of taxes, direct and indirect. Now, the basic difference is direct tax is the one which is levied on the person, and the person cannot shift the burden to anybody else. So, the person himself, herself has to pay that tax from the pocket. That is why it is called as direct. Whereas indirect tax is never levied on the person, it is levied on the goods or the services, or it is levied on the transaction. Hence, when the goods or services are sold to other person, the tax burden can be shifted. This is why it is called as indirect tax. Right? Now, Gargi is saying, sir, I'm also from Nashik. So, Gargi, you have to simply see, one is you will get these details from our institute's website also, because all conference details are posted here. Or allow me some time. I'll try to get details from Nashik branch by the course of this particular lecture, and I will paste it here. I'll request everyone, for whoever it is possible, to do attend this conference and all conferences that our ICI is organizing. And let me tell you, next 2 3 months you will have many conferences happening across India. But I don't know, it is not possible to hold it in every city, but it will be there in many places. So kindly please join them, and please ensure that you gain complete details of what is the, see, there are different subjects covered in these conferences, and most importantly there are sessions on exams. Now the new concept AI, all these things are very 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 important. So please do attend such conferences. This time's national conference, fortunately, is in the city where I'm presently residing. So let's, whoever possible, be here. Okay, Nikunj Doshi has put some details. Maybe you can check here if it is available. If not, I'll get it from the branch. Okay, coming back to the point. So why indirect tax is called as indirect? Because it is imposed at my end, but since I can shift the burden because it is imposed on goods and services, it is ultimately collected from my customer. I collect it from my customer along with my price of goods and service, and I pay to the government. So it goes to the government indirectly. That is why it is indirect tax. Now, presently under income tax, the major tax that we all pay is income tax. And presently under indirect tax, though there are still many taxes, the two major tax with which we are concerned is customs. Now, earlier you had so many indirect taxes, sales tax, excise. In fact, sales tax and excise were both at the central level and the state level. We are going to discuss this, what is central and state. Then you also had service tax. You had many local entry taxes. So there were 17 different indirect taxes, some of center, some of states, which are merged, which are, we use a word, subsumed. This word is very interesting. This is the technical word, you can say, or merge. So we subsumed, we merged 17 different taxes to make one single tax, GST. Why, how? That is what we are going to discuss after 2 minutes. So this is a brief historical backdrop of how taxes has evolved. There was a time when the government was planning to replace income tax by another tax called as direct tax code, DTC. However, this is now cancelled, and we are going to have the new Income Tax Act only. It is already passed and it will be applicable from 1st April 2026. So whoever is earning income now will be able to, yes, Divya, there was, see, toll tax are even there today, but there is a difference. One is toll charges. Many times people call it as toll tax. That is, those are toll charges. So toll charges are because you are using a facility of toll, right? Okay, fine. Now let us proceed. So this is something which I thought I would inform everyone how taxation works. Now fast forwarding to our independence era, 1947. Again, I'll talk something about history, but this history has lot of significance with whatever we are going to study now. So when we got freedom, that is 15th August 1947, there was no single country called as India. I repeat, there was no single country called as India. There were small princely states. If I'm not wrong, something around 365, if my memory is correct. We had so many princely states. What are these princely states? So again, rewind back. When the Britishers came to India, there was no India at that time also. There were different Rajgharanas, there were different Rajas. And what Britishers did, one by one, they started taking over different Rajas and Rajgharanas by signing a treaty with them. And later on, around somewhere in 1870s or 90s, they completely took over all these Rajgharanas, excepting a few. Everything else was under them. So this is how the Britishers were ruling us. Now, when the Britishers left in 1947, we decided that we will make one country. We will not be like pre-British era, that is fragmented, because if we are fragmented, then again what will happen? Some other person will come and some other person will take over. So we decided to become one. In such cases, the biggest challenge was that all these rajas, since they were rajas of different small or big places which were called as provinces, so nobody wanted to give away their powers. Everybody said, we also should have power. We were raja, so we should have power. So India decided that we will follow a federal structure. This word you will come across many times when you are studying the subject of taxation, though it has relevance with constitution and other things, but it is directly relevant because constitution is directly relevant to us. We are going to discuss that also. Now, what is a federal structure? See, the other opposite to federal is where the structure is single structure, where the power is only at the center. Like in many other countries, like all these UAE, Saudi countries, there is only one person who is head and who is running the whole country. There is nothing like states or there is nothing like chief ministers. But if you come to places like India, if you come to UK, you come to US, we have federal structure. What is federal structure? The power is distributed at two levels. So for the whole country, you have center, but at the same time, each state is also recognized as a power center, and at the state level also there are power. So basically, what is a federal structure? Federal structure is the power distribution between center and state. Now, interestingly, who gives them this power? This federal structure and all these things has come through our constitution. Now, interestingly, India got freedom in 1947. But as I said, there was no India at that time. Technically, correct date of India coming into existence is this is the date when India has come into existence? Yes, Rohit Beda.
Sir, Article 246 Constitution of India का Article 246 gives power to make law.
Yes, Rohit, you are right. I'm coming to that, but that is a bit after 5 minutes, but you are correct. What you have said is exactly right. But Article 246 gives the power. You're right.
Yes, sir.
So, so we became free on this date, but India came into existence when we adopted our constitution. Our constitution was ready in November 1949, but we adopted it on this date, that is January 26, 1950, which is very soon approaching. And that is why we celebrate two different dates, right? 1915 August also we celebrate, which is from 1947, and 26 January also we celebrate. Now, this is the day when we gave up this structure. Which structure? That there would be Rajas, then every Raja will have power. No. We adopted the constitution format, and our constitution is following the federal structure where the power is divided between center and states. Now, this constitution divides the power through Schedule 7, most important schedule of our constitution when it comes to power distribution. This schedule has divided the power by making three lists: list 1, list 2, list 3. List 1 is called as the union list. List 2 is called as the state list. List 3 is the concurrent list. Now, whatever items are listed here, for those items, the power is with Parliament, that is center, that is Delhi. For items which are listed here, the power is with respective states legislature, so you can call it a state parliament also, with the respective states government. And here the power is given commonly to both, but one of them will exercise. If one is exercising, the other will not exercise. Now, see, taxation is one small part of this whole power structure. So I'm not at on taxation, I'm on the whole power distribution. So this whole power distribution is given in Schedule 7 of the Constitution of India. And just go to the chats, there are many chats. They observe their kingdom through doctrine of lapse, another method. Both center state has power. पर मेरे को yes, Aditi beta.
Sir, I didn't get the meaning of union, state, and concurrent list.
Okay. Yeah, Rishabh, I think you're right. It is not 365, it was around 560 princely states. You're right. Not 360, it is 560. You're right. Rather, to be precise, 565. Vanshika beta, what I'm explaining is what is relevant to GST beta. So don't worry, I am also not interested in teaching you history or polity. My entire deliberation till now has nothing to do with history except for small bits and parts. Whatever I'm explaining, you can open the first chapter of our GST module and income tax module. You'll find everything over there, what I'm explaining right from the start of this session, except 1 or 2 points of history. Fine, Beta Vanshika? Okay. So now what is this list 1, list 2, list 3? List 1 has, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll show you the list so that you'll understand. Okay. Now see, this is the seventh schedule to our constitution. Now here in seventh schedule, they have written list one, which is called as union list. Somebody had rightly pointed out this article 246, but I'll talk about article 246 a bit later. Now see what is given in this list. Just for understanding how power of taxes is divided, first you have to understand the total power structure, which is called as the federal structure. So here, defense of the country, so you can simply say military, etc., is for falling in this. So your naval, military, air forces, etc., is falling in the union list, and that is why it is under the center. And logically, so it has to be under center, right? Then even atomic related things, mineral resources related things are under center. Then CBI is under center. Then United Nations, etc., 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 war and peace, foreign jurisdiction. Then this concept of citizenship, etc., is also under center, extradition. All see, this is the list of, as I was mentioning, na, list of items of which power is with center is in the union list. That is list one. So highways, which highways? Which are national highways. So state highways you will again find in the state list. National highways you are finding in this list because it is central. See, I'm just skipping. I'm not reading everything. Just what is important, I'll highlight. See, currency, coins, legal tender. So again, all this is under uh, center. Reserve Bank, Post Office, savings. Interestingly, just keep this in mind. When we'll proceed to third or fourth chapter, you will get this point in GST. So lotteries. But interestingly, what is given? Organized by government of India or even by government of state. Just keep this in mind. What is the relevance? That will come later on. Now from here, something related to taxes start, or I'll say not even taxes, something related to business, economics, trade and commerce start. So trade with foreign countries like import, export, interstate trade. Again, keep in mind this word. Interstate means between two states. What is opposite of that? Opposite is intrastate. So when the trade is between Maharashtra, it will be called as intrastate. If it is between Maharashtra, Goa, if it is between Karnataka, Gujarat, if it is between Delhi and Haryana, it will be interstate. Yes, Maithili. Maithili, beta. Okay. Banking. Then you have studied all these bills of exchange, promissory notes, etc. These are called as negotiable instruments. So all laws relating to this will be decided by center. Insurance is under center. Stock exchange is under center. Right? Now coming to more precisely the taxation part. So all from this 40 number, the economical part has started. Now in this, we come to the taxing part. Okay, this also, you have heard this word, na, sanctioning of cinematography of films for exhibition, the censor board. So before any film or any thing is released, it has to first get the censor board certificate. Again, it is under center. So this is the list of those activities for which the power is with the center. Now I'll come to the taxation part. Now from here, taxes start. See, first is taxes on income other than agriculture. That is why in income tax, when you study income tax, agriculture is exempt. Why? Because the constitution itself has not given power to the center to impose income tax on agriculture, right? So in taxes on income means we are talking about income tax. Then duties of customs means we are talking about customs, import and export both. Then duties of excise, then corporation tax, then estate duty. Now many of these are not in existence, but I'm just showing you the complete list. Then taxes on sale or purchase, but with sale or purchase when it happens within two states, which is interstate. If it is happening within the same state, it will go in the state list, right? Then this was the old one, taxes on services. As you can see the name of my list, see the name. The name is important. This is the seventh schedule before amendment. Before amendment means before the GST law came in. I purposely opened this list. I have the other list also post amendment, but in that you'll not find many of these names. So I just wanted to show you how our taxes were before GST had come in. Okay. Now, now coming to state list again, public order, police. That is why whenever you see about any police, the name of the state is written. It is Maharashtra Police. It is Telangana Police. It is Delhi Police. So police is under center. So army, military, navy is under center. Sorry, police is under state. Right? High courts, the officers working there are under state, but Supreme Court officers they will be under center. Most important, public health, it comes under state. Right? Interesting. Now, this will also be important for us when it comes to taxes. Keep this in mind. So, see, health, medical, education, internal law and order, all this is with state. See here, public health, right? And since liquor is related to health, liquor is related to good law and order condition. That is why liquor, this is under state list. Keep this in mind. This will be very important when we go to the GST part, right? See, agriculture. Agriculture purely is under the state list. That is why even taxes on income excluded taxes on agriculture. Why? Because entire agriculture is under the state. So ponds, water bodies, all these are under state. Interesting, land. That is to say, rights in or over land. Right? This is also under state list. Now coming to some, yes, just keep this also in mind, students. This will again be very relevant when we come to the GST part. See, these things will help you understand the subject in much, much detail. Right? Again, land revenue. Now, see, this is why central income tax excludes this. Taxes on agriculture income is with state. Hence, the income taxes of center excludes agriculture, right? This interesting point, students, we recently had a very big Supreme Court judgment. Why I'm saying big, Supreme Court is one, then what is big and what is small. So Supreme Court judgment can be given by a single judge, by a two-member judge, or by a six-member, nine-member, 13-member. So the very recent decision we had, which was given by nine-member judge, a nine-member bench, we call it as a bench. So the number of judges sitting. So we have a nine-member bench judgment on this one point, taxes on land and building. Fine. So from here, different other taxes are there, duties of excise. As I said, excise duty is both center and state. They have divided the products. Local taxes on entry of goods. So this was earlier called as octroi duty. Later on, this got to be called as local body tax. Now that is subsumed in GST. So in the new list, you will not find names of many of these because they are subsumed in GST, right? See this luxury tax. Many of these taxes are now no more there in the new list. Stamp duty. I'm sure many of you know this. What is stamp duty, right? And then the concurrent list. Now somebody has mentioned in the concurrent list, about concurrent list, somebody mentioned that concurrent, yes, Rohit mentioned means both can make laws. You're right. But even though both can make laws, but concurrent list is such that only one of them will be applying the. So it is like this: both are given powers, but it will be what you say exclusive. Exclusive means if center has made the law, state cannot. So if center is not making a law, then state can make the law. That is how the concurrent list is. Sir, how to download Bear Acts for GST? Pavan Mahato is asking. See, beta, today you are living in the world of uh, technology where everything is available. So I do it like this. You want any law, for example, you want constitution, type it. Constitution of India, right? Now see, here you will get Constitution of India, Legislative Department. So this is government website. Click over here. So this is government's Ministry of Law and Justice. Now here you will get many acts because this is the government's own website. So you have to just search it over here where you can get it. If by chance you are not getting a particular law here, go back. Go to other website links which is given. I normally use this link. See, India code. Many of my downloads are from this link, right? So I click here. See, you can get it from here. Now, for my purpose, because whatever I do in my profession, I require acts, old also, new also. So that I'll have to search because that I may not get very easily. Like I showed you Schedule 7 of the old act. So when I was downloading, I was doing it after the new schedule was there. But still, that also you'll get. So that you'll have to search or you'll have to go to some paid websites. But these are some common websites from where you can easily get any law, right? Understood, beta? So you can download any law. You just type it here. Many of the laws you will be able to download. Fine, beta? Arpit is asking, sir, you will give notes also? Yes, beta. Whatever I'm writing, I'll share it. That will be uploaded for your future reference. Are moving within the same state. It is called as intrastate, INTRA, Rohit beta. So within state, if the goods are being sold within Maharashtra to Maharashtra, that is a person from Bombay selling to a person of Kolhapur, it is intrastate. Concurrent list, Virashri Beda is as I just explained. So concurrent list, see, I'll again show you that list. Virashri, see, this is concurrent list. Now here, when something is written, criminal law. So in criminal law or for criminal procedures or detention for reasons connected with security of a state. Now these are the topics which are under both center and state. But one of them will make a law. If one has made, the other will not make a law. But both are given powers. That is why it is concurrent list, like marriages and divorce, infant minors. So these are those subjects on which both are given powers. But if one of them has made the law, the other cannot exercise the power. That is what is a concurrent list, beta. Fine. Yes, Aditi.
Sir, actually, just I wanted to give an example for this. Like I read this chapter, so I found out that GST amendment was comes in the concurrent list because it was made by the center government and then it was approved by all the state governments, I guess.
Okay. So, beta, you have still 5-7 minutes more till the time I come to this point. Uh, if you just said that you have read this, that this is under the concurrent list. So I give you 5-7 minutes more to recheck this point that whether the GST which is implemented now is falling in the concurrent list. If you want, I'll show you the new Schedule 7 also after amendment. I have that also. This is pre-amendment. I'll show you the new one also. But that is after
Okay.
5-7 minutes when I come to that point. But since you have raised this point now, you are having 5-7 minutes to tell me कि now the new GST law which has been brought in is under which list, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Rohit Kumar. Huh. नहीं बेटा, we divide lectures between different faculties so that you get flavor of every faculty. Rashmi, how to see Bear Act. As I just showed you, beta, you just type the name in Google. You will get different links. Open, check where you can get Bear Acts. And then I see this is how I make a record at my end. So this is whatever I have downloaded relating to Constitution of India. Here, see, you will find something interesting. Can you see this? Government of India Act 1935 analysis. Because during British period, they had also passed Government of India Act in 1935. So this word India has been given to us by Britishers. Keep this in mind. They started calling us India, and then we also started calling ourselves India. Before Britishers, there was no India, right? So I do it this way. If you see this, I have one special folder only for GST acts because I'm specializing in that. So I download all the acts. So as you can see, there is one folder within this folder called as earlier acts on different dates. And then as new acts come, I keep downloading. Then different, I have one folder for this other allied laws. Here you will find I have old excise and service tax and I have all the other acts, whichever are useful to me. I keep on downloading them from the sources of internet only. At times where I require something very specific, like something very old, etc., which is not easily available on internet, then there are some paid websites, but you need not go into that. Whatever you will require bare acts that are freely available on the Google. You can simply type on the Google the name of the act and you'll get it. What is beta menu one at a time? I did not get your point. Arpita, power is not divided in concurrent list. Concurrent list gives powers to both. If one is exercising, the other will not exercise. This is the rule, right? Now, so these are the list, students, right? Now, interestingly, the point which Maithili just raised, now we all have GST. Now, whoever has by chance studied GST or read this chapter before, a question will come as to GST falls in which list, right? But I'm just 2 or 3 minutes away from that question, but still I'm posing this question to everyone because Maithili had already posted this question. I'll be reaching that point in 2 to 3 minutes. Till then, I'll just complete what I want to complete before I come to GST. Now, as I just explained, so this is how India's federal structure is designed, which distributes power between center and state. This mechanism whereby power is distributed between center and state is called as the federal structure. Please keep this in mind. You will study this many times in many taxation related topics. Fine. Now, GST, which is our present topic, as you all know, is part of indirect tax, right? So right now I won't be talking about direct tax. Anyways, the only major direct tax today is income tax. And as we already saw, it is in this list, right? But we are not going to talk about this. Now, in the indirect tax category, you had central excise, you had state excise, then you had central sales tax, and you had the state sales tax, which was later on called as VAT. Then you had the entry taxes. There were so many things you had, right? Now, 17 of these taxes, service tax, etc., were subsumed to make one tax, which is our present GST. Now, interesting, not all indirect taxes are subsumed. There are still which are still going on. Like here, you have one tax which is still going on, that is customs. So people have a misunderstanding that all indirect taxes are subsumed. No. Presently, a very important indirect tax, that is the customs law, is still going on. But other than this, majority indirect taxes, both center and state, have been subsumed into GST. Now, all this background is very important to understand what we are going to discuss now about GST. Now, how this power is divided, I have told you. Now, somebody had pointed out this, that there is one article, article number 246. Now, if somebody wants to know, okay, sir, what is article? Then let me show you. See, like how when you study any act, in act, every point that you study is called as a section. Similarly, when you study the constitution, in constitution, every point is called as an article. So if I open Constitution of India, right? Now see, you have one. Now, if you are reading an act, you'll call this as section 1. You'll call this as section 2, right? But when you're reading constitution, you'll call this as article 1, article 2. So every point in the Constitution of India is called as article. Now I just showed you schedule 7, which is dividing power. But how do you reach to schedule 7? You have article 246. In fact, from here, the federal structure concept starts. Right? See what is given. Relations between union and the state, and this is our main point, distribution of legislative powers, right? Now what does 246 says? subject matter of laws made by Parliament and by the state legislature. And this is where it gives a reference to Schedule 7. It says that if you want to know who has power to do what, you have to go to 7th schedule. So Article 246 is that article which asks you to go to respective schedule of the Constitution, and that is how we landed to Schedule 7. Now I come back to my point, what I was trying to explain. So before GST, as we just saw, Article 246, which has divided the power between center and state, has referred to Schedule 7. And in Schedule 7, in List 1, you had power for certain taxes, List 2 had power for certain taxes, and that is how you had multiple taxes, some by center, some by state. That is, some center means by Parliament in New Delhi, and state means every state. So we had multiple indirect taxes. 17 of them, as I've already said, 17 of these indirect taxes have been merged to make one tax, which is GST. But what was the challenge in bringing GST? Now we'll talk about GST in detail. Now, when the government wanted to bring in GST, the very first biggest challenge was constitution. And in constitution, what was the challenge? Article 246. Why? Because what Article 246 has done, Article 246 has said that the power distribution will be in the form of List 1, List 2, List 3. List 1 gives powers only to center. So whatever will be written in List 1, only center will have power to make law. List 2 will give names of those items on which the power will be only with the respective states. And List 3 will give items where both will have power, but one of them will exercise, right? Now, when they wanted to bring in GST, their first problem was this Schedule 7. Why? Or what was the problem? The problem was that earlier taxes were levied either by center by using the power in List 1 or either by state by using the power in List 2. So we had so many taxes and 17 of these have now got subsumed into GST. Now I come to Maithili's question, and Maithili has already raised hand. I'd ask this question to others also. Ki when you want to implement GST, how this GST will be implemented? By putting it in List 1, in List 2, List 3. In which list GST has to be added so that you can levy GST. Now, this you have to answer as per whatever you know till now. Whether it is right or wrong makes no difference. We are not here to prove ourselves right. We are here to study, right? Okay. Sandhya, no, but it is not a single tax. Technically, it is a dual tax. Okay. Ali says Article 246A deals with GST. 246A amended for GST. Rashmi says, sir, article is like rule condition. No, article is like section. Oh, so like how you say section of any act, only instead of saying section, you say article. No, but excise duty, Reagan, did not come for reduction of any product usage. See, it was a simple mechanism of earning revenue. Even today, when government, any government is levying tax, whether it is of India or of outside country, it is not for reducing any particular product's usage. That is what Trump is doing in the form of tariff. That is a different concept. That is why it is called as tariff. Here, when we are talking about taxes and duties, see, as I mentioned at the start, when we started living in societies, we wanted some common fund. Like today, we want to fund our army, we want to fund our atomic research. So from where will the money come? That is how the taxation system has come into existence in Reagan. That is why I gave you that historical backdrop, ki how we come to taxes, right? So taxes are not imposed. Like your question is whether excise was imposed to reduce some specific product uses. Not at all. In fact, if that we are doing in today's world, then economies will not grow. In fact, today every country's government's first perspective is to grow their economy. So So tax is not imposed for that purpose. Rajita says GST falls under unique constitutional provision 246A. Okay, good. Introduced by 101st Amendment. Very good. Rohit, VAT and service tax is major issue. Okay. Both Aditya says concurrent. Rashmi says no one. List three, list three, list three. List three, list three. Ali, I'm asking which list? No, beta. Maithili. Yes, union and center are same. So either you call it as union or you call it as center. Both are same, Maithili. Okay, list three or both list. Yes, Ahmed, you're right, beta. Ahmed Rashid, the 12A defines GST, but right now I'm not yet on definition. I'm on the power. Under which list you have the power? Very good, Dhanalakshmi, you're right. Rashmi, why custom duty not subsume? Very good question, beta. Custom duty not subsume because GST is only for internal domestic transactions and customs is for international transaction. International transaction will have connection with other countries. That is why we cannot merge. Earlier also we had custom separate and domestic taxes separate. So that will continue in GST. In fact, whenever there is import, we levy both customs also and GST also. But it is not that you can merge customs and GST because customs is exclusively for international and both cannot be on the same footing. That is why. Yes, Rajita. So when you are saying concurrent power, so it is under which list? List one, two, three. This is my question. Ali says GST operate independent. How? That is my question. Ali, so if you are saying independent, give me the legal reasoning. Very good. Jona Lagada Praveen Kumar. Yes, very good, Bida. What you said is correct. So many of you have rightly pointed out. So now let me give you the answer for this. Acha, Aditi. Yes, I will unmute you because you were the first
Sir,
one to raise
actually,
this point. Tell me.
I just wanted to know the meaning of custom in very short. Like I can just wrote it down because I don't know the meaning of customs.
Customs.
Yes, sir.
See, customs one is the meaning of custom is tradition, and customs duty is for all international trade. So if you are importing any goods from outside India or you are exporting any goods to outside India, you will have customs duty.
Okay, fine. So then we have to pay the custom duty. Okay.
Yes, for import export you pay customs duty, right? But what is your answer, beta, for your own question that GST is in which list? List one, list two, list three. Very good, Ali. Yes, Aditi.
Sir, it's in the list three concurrent list where both center and state government has the power.
Okay. So I'll answer. Some of you have rightly answered. When GST was to be introduced, the first biggest challenge was constitution and the challenge was Article 246 because Article 246 asked you to go to Schedule 7. Schedule 7 gave you three lists and this is only of center, this is only of state and this is concurrent. Now many people even till date believe that GST is in the concurrent list, which is wrong. Some people feel GST is in both the list, which is wrong. GST is not levied under Article 246 because Article 246 gives either exclusive power to center, which is not possible, exclusive power to state, which is not possible, and even in concurrent. If you recall, I have explained concurrent three times today, where I said both are given power, but any one will exercise. If center is exercising, state will not exercise. If state has exercised, center will not exercise. This I have been saying about concurrent, right? So both are given powers, but we did not want power which is either or. Either center does, then this will not do. If state does, then center will not do. We did not want that power. We wanted joint power. Together, both should levy the tax. Together, both should have power to do it together. Now, as rightly pointed out by some of you, this is done by introducing a new article. Just forgive me for the spelling mistake. 246A. And this has no linkage with Schedule 7. See, please understand, Even after GST, Schedule 7 is there. Why? Because Schedule 7 is not only having power of taxes, it is having so many powers. That is why I showed you Schedule 7, so that you will keep this in mind and you will not be wrong in future. So Schedule 7 is not giving you powers only of taxes, it is power for everything. So we require Schedule 7 till the end. Till we exist, we require Schedule 7. So you cannot remove Schedule 7. But Article 246 cannot help you because it will take you to Schedule 7. In Schedule 7, it will be either center, either state, or one of them at a time. And GST cannot be in any of this. Hence, we brought in a new Article 246A, which independently, as rightly pointed out by a few of you, levied GST. So the constitutional problem was solved by bringing in new Article 246A. See, the article is here. What it says, special provisions with respect to goods and services tax. How it reads, notwithstanding anything contained in Article 246. So it is overriding 246 and 254. We'll see 254 later when required. Parliament and subject to clause to the state. So they are referring to both at the same time. This is not there in 246. In 246, it is either or. But in 246, it is both together. Parliament and. So both together, the state, both together have power to make laws for levying GST. Correct? 106. What is 106, beta? Ali? Fine, students. Now, coming back. So my first problem is solved, but I had another problem. My old taxes here in list 2 were origin based. Now, what is origin based? Please pay attention. These are some very crucial concepts. So let us take, for example, when the transactions between two states, which is called as interstate trade. So transaction is between two states. Let us say a person from Karnataka is selling to a person in Rajasthan. So the transaction is between two states. Now, earlier, before GST, whenever there is interstate transaction, the tax, whatever is levied, it can be levied only by one person. And the law was so designed that the originating state will get the tax. So, what is origin-based tax? Out of two states, the seller state, who is the originating state from where the transaction originates or from where the goods originate, will get the tax revenue. However, since GST was to be designed on international principle wanted, one second. They wanted this. They did not want origin based. So we made GST changing the methodology. Now, even if the same thing is happening, now who is going to get the revenue? The destination state. That is Rajasthan, in my example. Prakhar Rathi is asking, is there any WhatsApp group for students? Yes, beta, we do have a WhatsApp group. Very soon our technical team will be sharing the link here, beta. Dhanalakshmi, keep this question pending for some time. I'll answer you. Just remind me once I complete this flow, right? I do not want to disturb this flow and go to another part. So students, the second change that we had to bring in to implement GST, this was done to match with international concept, is we changed the taxation system from origin based to destination based. In origin based, the seller state gets the tax. In destination based, the buyer state or the consumption state will get the tax, and hence we call GST as destination based consumption tax. Why? Because the destination state or the consumption state gets the tax revenue. Now comes the third challenge. Earlier, before GST, how the taxes were designed? If there is interstate transaction, the tax would be levied by center. So this was in list one. If there is intrastate, the tax would be levied by state. And which state? I already mentioned the origin state, right? Now after GST, both will get power. And which state will now get the revenue after GST? It is now the destination state. Now, in this case, the challenge would be with the interstate transactions. So what we did after GST, we made two types of GST, if I can say. If now again we have interstate transaction, that is transaction between two states, we will charge GST, assuming, let us say, the rate is 40%. Or, okay, 40 may not be liked. Let us say the rate is 18%. And it will be first levied and collected by center. So in case of interstate transaction, the GST that you will charge will be called as IGST. It will be levied and collected by center, the full 18%. And then what center will do? Half of it, 9%, it will give to the destination state. 9% it will keep it with itself because that is the center share, and the state share, half 9% will be given to the destination state. And if it is an intra-state, that is within the state transaction, for which we do not have a challenge. So if the transaction is between two different cities of Haryana state, one city of Haryana is sending goods to another city of Haryana. So both are within the same state, so intra-state. So now the GST will be levied in two parts, CGST half rate, which is 19%, and Haryana state GST half rate 9%. So since here origin and destination is same state, there is no challenge. So Haryana state will collect and keep the GST with itself. Rashmi, I hope your point is clear. Yes, Ali. So the tax is divided half off. Yes, Beda, Mutulakshmi, this will be uploaded. But anyways, please see, these notes are not useful for exam. This is for the concept building. And I'm sure if you refer to them later on, it will be very helpful to you. But please keep in mind, it is not for learning. It is only for concept building. Okay. Now came another very big challenge. Okay, I have two hand raises. Let me answer that. Yes, I'm unmuting Aditi. Please tell me your question, Beda.
So please explain interstate one more time that how it has been divided 18%.
So, Beta, interstate, first, you know what is interstate transaction?
Yeah, sir, I know that it is when goods are when sale is happening from one state to another state.
Correct. Now, in this case, what will happen? The tax will be levied at the complete rate. Let us say the complete rate of GST is 18%, right?
Okay, okay.
So, entire 18% will be levied. Okay, chalo, we'll take one
Yes, sir.
example. Where are you from? Which place are you from?
Sir, I am from Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh, right? So, I'm from Nashik, which is in Maharashtra. Okay, so you are from my Mamaji's place. Very good. You are in Gorakhpur, right? Which is in Uttar Pradesh. Now, when I'm selling goods to you,
Okay,
interestingly, I'm a businessman registered here, and let us say you are a consumer. Let us say you are buying something online where I'm going to sell the goods to you, right? Let us take a very simple
okay, sir.
example, which is very common today.
Yes, sir.
So when you place the order online, The order comes to me. I'm a dealer in Nashik, Maharashtra, and the goods will go to Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. Now, in this case, let us say this is my invoice on which the value of goods, let us say it is some headphones, is rupees 5,000. I will add IGST. So the GST that I will charge whenever there is interstate transaction is IGST at the rate of
Okay.
18%. So which comes to 900 rupees. So my total bill will be 5,900. You will pay me 5,900, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, sir.
this 900 tax which I'm collecting, I will deposit it by the name of IGST only, because if I've collected by the name of IGST while depositing means paying to the government, I will pay by the name of IGST. Now, who is
Yes.
collecting this? Firstly, the central government is collecting. Now, everybody knows who is center, who is state, so I need not explain that. So the
Yes, sir.
center is collecting this 900 rupees, which is 18% tax. However, center's
Okay.
own share is only half, which is 9%. So only 450 can be kept by center. Remaining 450, center will transfer to the account of Uttar Pradesh state. So the
Okay. To the
state
state.
portion, because see, GST is made up of two portions. GST
Yes,
is
sir.
made up of two portions because see, please go back to the basics again. We
Yes.
merged 17 taxes. Some were from center, some were from state. So now the
Yes,
GST
sir.
has to be going to both the persons. So we made a GST law, and that is where I shared that Article 246 did not permit it. So we made a new article because of which GST. Okay, I'll add one thing here. GST became a dual tax. What is dual tax? Which is by center and state. So it is a tax which is commonly, jointly done by both center and state. See, I had written here joint. So it is jointly done by center and state, and that is why GST is also called as a dual tax. So how it is done? There are two
Yes, sir.
transactions. It is interstate, that is goods are going or services are going from Maharashtra to Uttar Pradesh. The entire transaction will be taxed by one name, which is IGST, by the full rate. Entire amount will be first collected by central government. Half it will keep for itself, and remaining half it will give to the destination state. Now, who is the destination state in
Okay.
this? Uttar Pradesh. So Uttar
Uttar
Pradesh will
Pradesh.
get, right?
Okay.
The
Okay.
second possibility of
Thank you for got it.
the transaction is within the same state. If it is within the same state, then what tax will be levied? At the start
CGST
itself,
and
two taxes
ST.
will be levied, half of center, half of state. Half will go to center. So when I'm depositing the tax by the name CGST and SGST, half goes to center, half goes to the respective state. Chapter is closed here itself, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Got it.
Understood, beta?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
हेलो सर।
Yes. Yes, Harshal, beta.
सर मुझे पूछना था कि
Go
जो
ahead.
आपने बताया कि ओरिजिनल बेस्ड, ओरिजिन बेस्ड एंड डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड टैक्स। ओके,
Hmm.
तो
Hmm.
ओरिजिन बेस्ड टैक्स आप ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि वो सेल्स पर लगेगा, ऐसा सेलर पार्टी, सेल पार्टी which are selling goods or services to the receiver or a buyer.
Go ahead, beta. Let me understand. I'm not yet able to understand your question. You go ahead. I'll try to first understand your question before I answer. Go ahead.
ओके, और जो कंजम्पशन टैक्स है वो जहाँ पे सर्विस कंज्यूम हुई है और गुड्स रिसीव्ड हुए, वहाँ पे लिव्ड होगा ना?
Please understand, beta, the difference between origin base and destination is कि किस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स मिलेगा. सी, जब दो स्टेट्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं तब ये क्वेश्चन आता है, क्योंकि एक सेलर स्टेट है और एक बायर स्टेट है, करेक्ट.
या सर।
एक वो स्टेट है जहां से गुड्स या सर्विस का मूवमेंट स्टार्ट हो रहा है, जो सेल कर रहा है, और एक वो स्टेट है जो वो गुड्स या सर्विस रिसीव करके कंज्यूम कर रहा है, करेक्ट.
करेक्ट सर, करेक्ट।
नाउ इन दिस केस द क्वेश्चन इज, इन दोनों में से किस स्टेट को रेवेन्यू मिलना चाहिए, वो टैक्स किस स्टेट के पास जाना चाहिए. दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ओरिजिन एंड डेस्टिनेशन. अगर हमारा पुराना मेथड से हम देखेंगे ओरिजिन बेस से, तो ये टैक्स का रेवेन्यू जाएगा सेलर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को. सो किस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को रेवेन्यू मिलेगा, वो टैक्स किसको मिलेगा, सेलर स्टेट को. और अभी जीएसटी में क्या हो गया, जैसे मैंने अभी अभी एक्सप्लेन किया मैथिली को कि, नहीं सॉरी मैथिली नहीं, किसने पूछा था, आई फॉरगॉट. तो अभी के केस में जीएसटी में हु विल गेट दिस रेवेन्यू, इट विल बी गिवन टू दी स्टेट जहां पे ये गुड्स या सर्विस कंज्यूम होने वाला है। सो हमेशा सेलर ही टैक्स चार्ज करता है, सेलर अपने बिल में टैक्स ऐड करता है, जैसा मैंने अभी एक्सप्लेन किया। पर क्योंकि वो इंटरस्टेट ट्रांजैक्शन है, वो टैक्स पहले जाएगा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट उसमें से आधा टैक्स जो स्टेट का पोर्शन है वो किसको दे देगा? इट विल गिव इट टू द कंजम्पशन स्टेट।
Consumption state. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
अंडरस्टूड बेटा?
Yes, sir. Understood.
परफेक्ट। Anybody else? Any questions before I proceed? Somebody else had also raised hand. I don't know who that person was. So if your doubt is still pending, you may again raise hand. I'll unmute you. Okay. I'm reading the points in the chat. Okay, very good question, Rashmi. How will central government know which state is consumption state, beta? That you will get to know from the invoice. If invoice is made by Maharashtra to UP, so UP is the consumption state. This is the general rule. However, we will study this in a special chapter called as place of supply, where you will get to know what your question is, ki who is the consumption state, kaise pata chalega. That is decided by the concept called as place of supply. Yes, Pragati. In indirect taxes, burden is on the consumer. Yes, very good. So who is this? I think Pragati only. So it means in interstate, include 9% of both the center and the state, and intrastate you charge separately 99%. Correct. That is correct, Beda. No, even for union territory. Very good question, Minu. So Minu is asking, sir, what happens in case of union territory? In case of union territory also, if it is within the same union territory, you have two taxes, CGST plus the union territory SGST. It is not IGST, it is union territory SGST. But where it is by one state to a union territory or by one union territory to another union territory, then again IGST is levied and half is given to the consumption wala union territory. Right, Minu? Anjum is saying, sir, intrastate, please explain. Anjum, beta, intrastate is, let us say you are from Rajasthan, Jodhpur, and I am from Rajasthan, Jaipur. You are giving me your professional services, but these services are between Rajasthan, one city to Rajasthan, another city. So when the goods or services are sold within the same state, it is not going outside the state. We call it as intrastate. And in that case, since the consumption state and the seller state is same, so we charge GST half of center, half of the state. Why? Because there is only one state. When there are two states, then we charge combined GST called as IGST. Entire amount goes to center. Center gives the half portion to the recipient or the consumption state. Yes, Sudarshan, beta, tell me.
Sir, I understood the concept. I just understood the concept of interstate. I just say to you, sir, you just give me an explanation, sir. So what I understood, I just said to sir.
Please, please.
So interstate concept, it's like if I buying goods or services from some other state. If, for example,
Firstly, what is your state? Tell me the name of your place.
Sir, I'm from Tamil Nadu, sir.
Tamil Nadu. Which part Tamil Nadu?
Trichy, sir.
Trichy.
Tiruchirappalli. Yes,
Trichy,
sir.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So now let us say I'm a person in Bangalore, which is in Karnataka. If you are buying from me goods or services, this will be which transaction?
Sir, it's a interstate transaction, sir.
Perfect. Second
Yes, sir.
option, I am from Chennai, which is in Tamil
Okay,
Nadu
sir.
only.
Yes, sir.
If you are buying from me, this will be which transaction?
It's a intrastate transaction, sir.
Perfect. So your understanding up to this point is clear. Proceed.
Yes, sir. So if I'm buying goods and service from different states, I
Don't
have
use
to
the word
pay.
different state. Take the name. I have given you two
Okay,
examples.
sir.
Take the name.
If I buy a goods or service from interstate,
Bangalore. Say Bangalore,
Bangalore.
Karnataka.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Okay, Bangalore,
correct.
Karnataka. I pay the money, like I
See,
pay
this
in
is
the.
the example. Take this example. You have bought
Uh,
headphones. Here I have taken this example, right?
yes, sir.
So you have bought headphones for 5,000.
Yes, sir.
and there is 900 GST on that. Go ahead, take this example and explain.
Okay, sir. I'm buying. I am buying the headphone like 5,000, and I'm paying the headphone with the included the tax like that is called IGST.
Correct.
So
So for interstate, the tax is IGST, correct, which is
okay.
total of both center and state both.
Yes, sir. So it's like IGST. It's for total center and state, and center it take off of that like 9%, and 9% it's like 900. The
No, no,
central
no.
take the
900 is not 9%. 900 will be 450. 900 is
okay, sir.
total 18%. Beta. 5,000
Okay,
into 18% is 900. Correct.
okay.
So
Uh,
450 is center, which the center will keep. Go ahead.
for 450 is center which they keep, and 450 is for state. They give to destination state,
Who
which
is the
belongs
destination
to
state in your example?
Tamil Nadu, sir.
Exactly. So center
Okay,
will
sir.
give 450 rupees to Tamil Nadu.
Okay, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. So in origin based, like before GST, it gives to the providing
Karnataka.
states. Yes,
Correct.
sir. Karnataka.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Great.
sir.
Yes, beta Mohammed. Ask your query, beta. Mohammed. Mohammed, beta, you have raised your hand. Okay. Arpit,
सर मैं बोल रहा था कि सर जब जो छोटे स्टेट्स होते होंगे
go ahead. I'm listening to you, beta.
सर जो छोटे स्टेट्स होते होंगे वो जो उनको तो सर जीएसटी कलेक्शन बहुत कम होता होगा फिर तो
Yes, that was the challenge. I'm coming to that point. इससे तो मैं अभी आपको लिस्ट डाउन कर रहा हूँ कि जीएसटी के रिलेटेड क्या क्या चैलेंजेस थे. अभी मैंने प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व किया, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का ओरिजिन का डेस्टिनेशन कर दिया. मगर अभी जो आपका पॉइंट है दैट विल कम. यू आर राइट. एंड इट इज
यस
नॉट
सर
ओनली ऑफ स्मॉल स्टेट्स. It is also there was a problem, a very big problem. I'll discuss that. Good point raised, beta. I'll explain
सर
that. But still, you can complete your question.
सर मैं बोल रहा था सर ये जो आप स्क्रिबल नोट्स करा रहे हो तो आप रिटन नोट्स नहीं दोगे सर खुद से
Sorry,
बनाना
beta.
पड़ेगा ये सब
Sorry, beta.
सर जो आप ये स्क्रिबल नोट्स करा रहे हो अगर आप
Mm-hmm.
सर रिटन नोट्स नहीं दोगे
But a written notes is the module, na? Module is the best notes, and I will request not to refer anything else. When I'll explain from module, you'll understand what is the relevance of module. All market books are copying module only,
ओके
beta. Just they are
ओके
reframing it in different fashion, slightly changing the language. So you refer module, that is more than sufficient.
ओके
Yes, Harsh.
ओके सर
गुड इवनिंग सर।
Good evening, beta. Please tell me your doubt.
सर मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, जिस स्टेट से सर ट्रेड हो रही है तो सर उसे क्यों टैक्स नहीं मिलता है? जैसे एग्जांपल मैं यूपी से हूँ,
ठीक है, यूपी में
मैंने
कहाँ से हो आप बेटा?
झांसी सर।
क्या बात है, बढ़िया. हाँ, ठीक है.
तो सर मैं जैसे यूपी से हूँ तो मैंने मध्य
आपने
प्रदेश
समझो
से
मुझे
सर
बेचा, मैं नासिक में हूँ, महाराष्ट्र में. यस,
हाँ
गो
सर,
अहेड.
जैसे मैंने आपको बेचा तो मतलब यूपी मतलब जहाँ से ट्रेड हुआ तो उसे टैक्स क्यों नहीं मिलता?
गुड क्वेश्चन. सो मीन्स यू आर सेइंग कि हम ओरिजिन बेस क्यों नहीं फॉलो कर रहे, राइट?
हाँ सर।
सी, पहला तो रीजन मैंने बताया, हम पहले ओरिजिन बेस ही कर रहे थे. हमें डेस्टिनेशन पे आना पड़ा फॉर वन रीजन, बिकॉज हमें अब जो जीएसटी लाना था वो इंटरनेशनल लॉज को अलाइन करके लाना था. इंटरनेशनली डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड टैक्स का लॉजिक है, राइट? बट हम चाहते कि इंटरनेशनली भी डेस्टिनेशन का लॉजिक क्यों है. और अगर हमें ऑप्शन रहता डिसाइड करने का, अगर आप मुझे पूछोगे कि सर आपके हिसाब से सही क्या है, तो मेरे हिसाब से भी सही डेस्टिनेशन है. उसका मैं रीजन बताता हूँ. सी, आपने माल बना के बेचा, ठीक है? हर्ष, आर यू लिसनिंग टू मी?
यस यस सर।
आपने माल बना के बेचा, वो माल मैंने खरीदा और मैं उसे कंज्यूम कर रहा हूं महाराष्ट्र में, राइट?
जी सर।
अगर आप लॉजिकली समझोगे तो आपके स्टेट को ऑलरेडी कुछ ना कुछ रेवेन्यू मिल चुका है. अब आप बोलोगे सर क्या मिला? आपने जब ये हेडफोन्स बनाए, हम हेडफोन्स का एग्जांपल ले रहे, लेट अस सी यू आर मैन्युफैक्चरर ऑफ हेडफोन्स इन झांसी, राइट?
जी सर।
अब जब आपने ये हेडफोन्स बनाए तो तो आपने वहां का रॉ मटेरियल, वहां का लेबर, वहां का जमीन, वहां का इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सब कुछ कंज्यूम किया,
यस सर।
तो वो सब चीजों का ऑलरेडी टैक्स आपके स्टेट को मिल रहा है। क्यों?
यस सर।
क्योंकि आपने उस स्टेट के रिसोर्सेस कंज्यूम किए। आप मानते हो ये बात?
यस सर।
अब जब आपने गुड्स बेच दिया मुझे, मैं नासिक महाराष्ट्र में बैठा हूं और मैं आपके गुड्स नासिक महाराष्ट्र में कंज्यूम कर रहा हूं, तो पैसे जब मेरा स्टेट दे रहा है, अभी मैं स्टेट के हिसाब से बोल रहा हूं, क्योंकि अगर मैं पैसे दे रहा हूं तो एक तरह से मेरा स्टेट पैसा दे रहा है, करेक्ट?
यस सर।
पैसे अगर मुझसे आपके पास जा रहे हैं, तो अगर मैं स्टेट की भाषा में बोलूंगा तो महाराष्ट्र से झांसी को जा रहे हैं, तो झांसी को जो पैसे मिले, ये 5,000 रुपए जो आपको मिले, उससे आपने अपने लेबर वगैरह को पे कर दिया और उसका टैक्स ऑलरेडी झांसी को मिल रहा है, करेक्ट?
जी सर।
पर क्योंकि ये गुड्स महाराष्ट्र वाला कंज्यूम कर रहा है और इसका पेमेंट महाराष्ट्र वाला कर रहा है, तो जब पेमेंट महाराष्ट्र वाला कर रहा है तो महाराष्ट्र को इसका टैक्स क्यों ना मिले? दिस इज द लॉजिक बिहाइंड मेकिंग डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड टैक्स। आई होप दिस विल बी क्लियर टू यू, राइट?
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सर।
Perfect. Students, now we will take our break. It is 7:36 in my watch. We will meet around 7:50 max. So एक around 13-14 मिनट का आपको break है, and then we will continue with the deliberation. Fine? Yes, Maithili. So intrastate is within same state. Intra means same, inter means different. Correct. Satish, Article 246A differs from 246 in the sense that 246 gives power either to center or state. Article 246A gives power to both together. So where you require to levy tax together, like in case of GST presently, you can do it only with Article 246A. No problem. See, basic doubts are never, don't consider basic as something very small. In fact, basics are the foundation. So even if you have basic doubts, I'm very happy. It means you are applying your mind to understand the concepts in depth. So please go ahead and ask. Government provides some funds to them. Okay, sir, what is e-way bill? Balio Patro will come to e-way bill. Right now, if I go into everything, it may be confusing. So give me some time. Whenever required, e-way bill will be explained. Selling state government will not get any tax revenue in case of interstate. So the selling state may not encourage interstate sales. See, understand one thing. I just explained, I think you also would have got the explanation that selling state will get benefit in some other fashion because when something is being manufactured there, produced there, they will get other sources of revenue. So nobody will avoid. Don't worry. No state will avoid interstate. Will IGST would be applicable to import of goods? Yes, on import of goods also you levy IGST. Correct. Already answer is given. So on import of goods and services, both IGST is levied. Kashish says, sir, in case of person from UP goes to Haryana, purchases something. See, Kashish, this is a very good question, but let me not answer this now. Let us wait for place of supply topic. There, I will answer you this. So don't worry, you'll get answer for this, but keep this question in mind, write it somewhere. But if I have to give you answer immediately, answer is if you are a registered person who is going to Haryana, it will be IGST. If you are unregistered person but mentioning your state and that is mentioned on the invoice that you are from UP, it is still IGST. Correct? Kashish, so I've answered you. Reason you will get in place of supply. Because if I start giving you reason now, then our topic will change, which I don't want. Yes, Harshal.
सर मुझे पूछना था जो आपने अभी बोला कि इंपोर्ट पर आईजीएसटी लगता है
Hmm.
हाँ तो व्हाट इज द लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट
बेटा
व्हाई
इंपोर्ट पे इंट्रा स्टेट नहीं है ना इज इट बिटवीन वन स्टेट नो इट इज बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज
ओके इट इज इंटरनेशनल
हाँ so it is
डेस्टिनेशन
between two countries na
ओके
so that is why see interstate is not only limited to state it's also for inter country
ओके
so
सर
inter country and interstate both IGST levied simple
ओके सर
understood beta? Yes students any other questions with anybody please feel free to ask okay then I'll proceed yes Rashmi
सर हेलो सर
बोलो
वो कस्टम ड्यूटी जो है वो संस्योन नहीं है जीएसटी में लेकिन अदर्स लाइक और भी टैक्स हैं जो जैसे कि जो टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स पे टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स पे और पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट पे एक्साइज एक्साइज ड्यूटी सेंट्रल एक्साइज ड्यूटी और स्टेट एक्साइज ड्यूटी जो लेविड होता है तो उसे हम संस्योन करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे जीएसटी में
नहीं करेंगे बेटा रीजन इज अभी देखो अगर आपने देखा रहेगा मैंने शेड्यूल 7 में दिखाया कि मेडिकल हेल्थ और इंटरनल लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इज द प्रेरोगेटिव ऑफ स्टेट तो अगर आप देखोगे तो लिकर टोबैको ये सब चीज का संबंध हेल्थ से भी है उसका संबंध क्लीनलीनेस से भी है उसका संबंध लॉ एंड ऑर्डर से भी है सो आई बिलीव वो वैसे ही चलता रहेगा सो इट विल नॉट बी कंप्लीटली सबस्यूम्ड इन जीएसटी उस पर जीएसटी लग रहा है टोबैको पे मगर उसके साथ उस पर एक्साइज भी लग रहा है सो दिस विल
सर
कंटिन्यू
मैं ये पूछ रही थी कि सर वो जो एक्साइज ड्यूटी है उसे हम या सेंट्रल एक्साइज ड्यूटी उसे हम संसेवर जीएसटी में बोलेंगे या अभी वो कंटिन्यू है ये बोलेंगे?
वही मैं बता रहा हूँ बेटा, कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स पे, जैसे दो प्रोडक्ट्स है या अदर मैं बोलूंगा तीन प्रोडक्ट्स है। एक है लिकर, अभी हम उस पे आगे आने वाले हैं, बट आपके क्वेश्चन को मैं आंसर करता हूँ। लिकर, टोबैको प्रोडक्ट्स और आपके पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स, इन पे अभी भी आपका पुराना टैक्स चल रहा है। ठीक है बेटा, यही आपको
ओके।
पूछना है ना कि इन पे अभी भी लग रहा है या
बट
नहीं लग रहा
सर
है, तो
अगर एमसीक्यू में आएगा व्हिच टैक्स इज नाउ प्री जीएसटी और सब्सिडी और नॉन सब्सिडी, तो व्हिच ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट सर?
बेटा तो वो ऑप्शन इस हिसाब से ही आएगा ना, आप क्यों चिंता कर रहे हो। हम जब बाद में एमसीक्यू टाइप वाले क्वेश्चंस पे जब जाएंगे हमारे दो चैप्टर्स होने के बाद, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि वो क्वेश्चन भी तो वो सोच के ही पूछेंगे ना। वो क्वेश्चन तो ऐसा पूछ ही नहीं सकते ना जो क्वेश्चन ही गलत हो। करेक्ट।
ओके
तो
सर।
डोंट वरी, क्वेश्चन विल बी डिजाइन। सी, वी आर गिविंग प्रोफेशनल एग्जाम, ये कॉलेज का एग्जाम नहीं है कि उन्होंने कोई भी पुराना पॉइंट उठा के आपको क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया। दे विल डेफिनेटली आस्क यू रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन ओनली, डोंट वरी। और उसमें ऑप्शन भी इस प्रकार से दिए जाएंगे जो आपके आंसर को मैच करे। राइट। अदिति, गो अहेड प्लीज।
Yeah, so actually I wanted to ask that related to the import of goods, like with there is an import of goods, so the GST which is collected, that whole goes to the central government, or like it goes to the center, not
First,
to the
it's see
state.
IGST. If you are talking about customs or you're talking about IGST,
IGST, sir.
IGST will first go to center, and then center will see कि finally these goods are consumed in which state. Wherever the goods are consumed, the center will give. I'll give you an example. Let us say, where are you from?
Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh.
Gorakhpur. So let us say you import some goods from UK. The goods are coming by ship at the Bombay port, right? But in Bombay port, when the goods have to be taken from customs, your details have to be filled in the form called as bill of entry. Over there, your address of Gorakhpur will be written. Now, in this particular case, firstly, the IGST which will be collected will go to center. Center will see the bill of entry and it will come to know that these goods are finally going to go to Gorakhpur, where a person named Aditi will be consuming the goods. And IGST's half portion, which belongs to the state, will go to Uttar Pradesh. So central government will give that half portion to the state of Uttar Pradesh, right?
Okay, so it will not wholly go to the center government, but it will
See,
will go to state.
always, this is the
Okay.
rule. So first,
Okay.
entire IGST full 18% or whatever is the percent will first be collected by center full. Because IGST, there are when two states, two countries are involved, so that is why center collects. And then center sees who is the consumption state. Center will give, compulsorily give half to that state. Correct?
Okay. Okay. So one more question is that why
Yes.
this custom duty, custom, this custom is not subsumed
I already
with
answered.
this.
Somebody has asked this question because this is an international tax. You cannot make same tax for international and for domestic. Like
Okay.
today, you are seeing
Okay.
Trump is levying different taxes. So we are also now having different relations. If you would be seeing this, please, you should follow global taxes also. So you will know that now India is signing FTP with many countries. FTP is free trade policies or free trade agreement, FTAs, whereby for
Yes.
certain countries we will be not levying a particular tax, but for certain countries we'll be levying. So international taxes run on altogether a different logic. So I cannot merge what is happening at international level with domestic. So customs will continue with that.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Harsh, beta.
सर जो पेनल्टी और लेट फीस चार्जेस लगते हैं सर वो भी स्टेट और सेंट्रल में डिवाइडेड
Yes,
होते हैं.
yes. Everything will be divided between two. Taxes also, interest also, penalties also, everything, beta.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
Good question. Yes, Arpit.
सर मैं पूछ रहा था सर सेस क्या होता है?
I'm coming to that. Cess point I'm coming बेटा. वैसे अभी वो मेजरली खत्म
सर
हो
एक
गया, बट
क्वेश्चन
आई एम
और है.
कमिंग टू दैट. हाँ, बोलिए ना.
सर अगर अभी मैं यूएस से 5 करोड़ की इंपोर्टेड कार मंगाता हूँ तो उस पर जीएसटी लगेगी क्या?
बोलो बोलो. आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है अर्पित. आई एम नॉट एबल टू हियर यू अर्पित. अर्पित, आई एम
सर
नॉट
मैं
एबल टू
बोल रहा
हियर.
था, सर आवाज जा रही
हाँ,
है?
अब आ रही है. प्लीज गो अहेड.
सर मैं बोल रहा था कि सर मैं यूएस से 5 करोड़ की इंपोर्टेड कार मंगा रहा हूँ तो सर उस पर जीएसटी लगेगी क्या?
100%. पर ये डाउट क्यों है आपको? मतलब आपका एक
सर
क्वेश्चन
लेकिन
पूछने के
सर
पीछे का रीजन क्या है?
सर आपने सर बोला कि सर ये जो इंटर स्टेट जीएसटी है सर, जो ये इंटर स्टेट जीएसटी सर, उस पर तो फिर वो उस पर कैसे लगेगी सर? मान लीजिए मैं बॉम्बे पोर्ट पे मंगा रहा हूँ, तो क्या सर महाराष्ट्र से यूपी आएगी? तो सर इस हिसाब से लगेगी कि सर उस जीएसटी का पैसा लेगा कौन? जी
सी
मतलब
सबसे पहले आईजीएसटी का पूरा पैसा किसके पास जाता है?
सर पूरा पैसा सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास जाता
तो
है।
पहले सेंटर के पास चला जाएगा। अब सेंटर देखेगा ना ये कार खरीद के यूज करने वाला पर्सन कौन है, तो उनको पता चलेगा अर्पित सिंह ने इसका वो फॉर्म भरा है। कौन सा फॉर्म भरते
यस
हैं?
सर।
बिल ऑफ एंट्री भरते हैं। उस पे अर्पित सिंह ने
यस
अपना
सर।
एड्रेस लिखा है, जो एड्रेस यूपी का है। आप यूपी में कहाँ से हो अर्पित?
सर यूपी में सर सुल्तानपुर से।
सुल्तानपुर से। तो आप जब एड्रेस लिख रहे हो तो उनको पता चल रहा है, आपने पिन कोड भी लिखा होगा कि ये यूपी में गई है कार, और वो तो पता भी चल जाएगा ट्रांसपोर्ट वगैरह डिटेल्स से। तो जब ये पता
यस सर।
चलेगा तो बाद, इसीलिए पहले सेंटर क्यों कलेक्ट करता है? ताकि वो पहले देख ले कि एग्जैक्टली किस स्टेट का है। अगर एक बार एक स्टेट ने कलेक्ट कर लिया तो उससे दूसरे स्टेट को लेना, जैसे समझो अगर यहाँ पे पहले महाराष्ट्र कलेक्ट कर लेगा, फिर वो महाराष्ट्र और यूपी झगड़ते रहेंगे, तो वो सब झंझट ना हो इसलिए हमेशा आईजीएसटी पहले सेंटर कलेक्ट करता है, दोनों पे, इंटर स्टेट पे भी और इंटर कंट्री पे भी, जिसको हम इंटर स्टेट ही
यस सर।
बोलते हैं, बट जस्ट मैं जानबूझ के इंटर कंट्री बोल रहा हूँ। तो दोनों ट्रांजेक्शन पे पूरा पहले सेंटर कलेक्ट कर लेगा, फिर वो देख
यस
लेगा
सर।
कि भाई अल्टीमेटली ये गुड्स या सर्विस कहाँ कंज्यूम हो रहे हैं, और फिर वो उस स्टेट को दे देगा। फाइन।
सर लेकिन सर मैं फर्म हूँ सर, मैं कम मतलब मैं अपनी सर उसको बेचने के लिए लिया हूँ, मतलब मान लीजिए सर मैं
करेक्ट।
उसके
तो अब आप
डीलरशिप।
समझो ना, अब आपने समझो से आगे बेचा, आपने वो मुझे बेचा, मैं कहाँ पे हूँ? नासिक महाराष्ट्र में, राइट?
यस सर।
तो
यस सर।
पहले तो आपके स्टेट को टैक्स मिल गया।
यस सर।
अब जब आप मेरे यहाँ पे बेचोगे तो मेरे स्टेट को टैक्स मिल जाएगा, क्योंकि आप वापस आईजीएसटी का बिल काटोगे।
यस सर।
तो आपका आईजीएसटी में वापस आप मेरा एड्रेस लिखोगे, मेरा एड्रेस में आप मेरा पिन कोड और स्टेट कोड और सब लिख के जब नासिक महाराष्ट्र लिखोगे
यस
तो
सर।
टैक्स मेरे पास आ जाएगा।
ओके सर।
ठीक है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
यस हर्षल बेटा।
सर मुझे पूछना था कि जो लॉजिक आपने अभी बताया, जैसे अर्पित ने बोला था एग्जाम्पल, एज एग्जाम्पल,
हम्म।
तो उसमें डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड लगा, एज इंटरनेशनल डेस्टिनेशन बेस्ड टैक्स लॉजिक, राइट, फॉर द लीव थ्रू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। सो
हम्म।
उसमें अगर यहाँ से एक्सपोर्ट किया गया उसमें, फॉर
हम्म।
एग्जाम्पल ऐसे,
हम्म।
सो
हम्म।
सो उसे कैसे ट्रीट करेंगे एज ए लॉजिकली इन अ पॉइंट
तो
ऑफ
हम
व्यू
क्या करते हैं
इंडिया?
फिर, क्योंकि इसका टैक्स इंपोर्टिंग कंट्री लगाने ही वाला है, बराबर?
या
तो हम हमारे यहाँ पे टैक्स को एग्जम्प्ट कर देते हैं। इससे जब आप पढ़ोगे आगे जीएसटी लॉ में और कस्टम्स में भी, तो हमने मेजॉरिटी आइटम्स का एक्सपोर्ट का टैक्स माफ कर दिया है। इसीलिए माफ किया है क्योंकि हमें मालूम है वहां पे टैक्स लगना है। तो हम क्या करते हैं फिर, हमारे यहाँ पे उसको एग्जम्प्ट कर देते हैं, यानी माफ कर देते हैं।
ओके, आई थिंक
सिंपल।
वन पॉइंट आई एडेड टू दैट।
गो हेड
इसमें
प्लीज।
इसमें डीडीटी जो है, मतलब एग्रीमेंट विच इज एक्ट, आई थिंक, in the income tax, especially for that particular transactions
हाँ।
which are doing at the international level from
हाँ।
one country to another country.
हाँ।
So DTT means a direct tax agreement, I think.
डबल
Double
टैक्स
tax.
अवॉइडेंस अग्रीमेंट बोलते हैं उसको, डीटी डबल ए, डबल
Yeah,
टैक्स
yeah,
अवॉइडेंस
yeah,
अग्रीमेंट। यस।
yeah, sir. So इसमें और इसका लॉजिक कैसा होगा, अगर हाउ टू एक्सप्लेन टू दैट
तो बेटा सेम लॉजिक हो
एग्रीमेंट?
गया ना, हमने भी वापस जिन कंट्रीज के साथ ये डीटी डबल ए साइन किया वो इसीलिए किया कि अगर एक कंट्री से दूसरे कंट्री में कोई माल बेच रहा है, सर्विस दे रहा है, तो उस पे जो वो इनकम कमा रहा है, दोनों में से एक ही कंट्री ने टैक्स लेना चाहिए, ताकि वो
या
पर्सन दोनों कंट्रीज के बीच में स्मूथली ट्रेड कर सके,
यस
है
सर,
ना?
राइट।
यस करेक्ट।
थैंक यू सर, डाउट क्लियर।
यस यस अदिति बेटा।
So
अदिति यू
actually,
हैव
I
अ
have one
क्वेश्चन?
more question that there was one example of this car one. I didn't remember the name of that person. So what was
नो
happening in that?
प्रॉब्लम।
Like it was collected, the IGST which is collected by the center. So it was halfly
यस।
divided. I got it. But the question which came here is for this import of goods and services, their custom plus IGST both are, which is
यस
paid by the consumer. Both
करेक्ट।
custom and IGST is paid.
करेक्ट। सो व्हाट इज योर क्वेश्चन?
Okay. This is the only thing I wanted to ask.
हाँ,
Thank you, sir.
so
So this was the
whenever
only
you are
question
importing
that both
goods or
are
services,
together.
go ahead.
What, sir?
No, I did not get your question. So complete if your question is pending.
No, sir, it's completed. I got my answer. Thank you.
So whenever you are importing goods, both taxes are levied. Now I'll take a question of Virashri, who has posted a very good question. She says, "Ki sir, for international transactions like what we are discussing about import of car, you are levying customs also as per customs law, and at the same time you are levying IGST also. So why we are levying both the taxes?" The answer is, this is a very important question, students. In case of import of goods, you pay both the taxes we have been discussing, but the question is why both taxes? Reason is the law is simple. Whenever there will be import, there has to be customs. So on that reason or on that grounds, we are levying customs duty on import. Second, wherever it is a supply, which is the word used in GST for levying tax, supply includes sale, barter, everything that we'll discuss in the chapter of supply. So whenever there is supply, on supply, you have to again pay GST. Now, interestingly, whenever import happens, it is also a sale transaction only, and sale is part of supply. So since in case of import, both things are getting triggered. One, it is coming from another country to India, which we call as import. So customs law is getting triggered. Two, it is also a sale transaction. It is also a supply transaction. So GST law is getting triggered. So you pay both the taxes, Virashri, because both laws are getting attracted. Valia Parto, I'll explain what is ITC. Give me some time. Maybe it will be in the next class because today's my schedule. I have not decided to cover the ITC part, but if time permits, I'll definitely explain what is ITC. But it will require some long working, so that will be covered in the next part because I want you all to be able to digest things. I can give too much, but if you are not able to digest, it won't add value. Satish saying GST is charged on service and import is charged with customs. See, it is not like service. See, even service can be imported, right? Please understand. Customs is on goods. So whenever your transaction is of import of goods, customs will apply. Plus GST, IGST will apply because it is also supply. When your transaction is import of service, interestingly, there will be no customs. It will be only IGST. Why? Because customs do not apply to services. Yes, Siddhant. Custom duty is as per Article 246, the old article, and it is only with center. So entire custom duty is of central government. So center keeps the custom duty amount, whole custom duty amount, right? Harshal.
हाँ सर, मुझे ये पूछना था, अभी मेरे माइंड में आया क्वेश्चन कि जैसे आपने बताया टाइप्स ऑफ जीएसटी एज अ नेम्ड आईजीएसटी, सीजीएसटी, एचजीएसटी, यूटी, यूटीजीएसटी, राइट?
Yes.
Okay, so in union territory case, if a transaction are happened in a interstate to the union territory, so uh,
If the
that
transaction is happening within different parts of the same union territory, it will be half CGST, half the union territory tax. If it is
okay.
happening with that that union territory with another state or that union territory with another union territory, it will be IGST.
Okay, sir. Okay. Means central are center are collected to these tracks from the UTGST.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Understood.
Okay. Now I answer one question. Ganesh. Okay. Tell me your question, Beda.
So IGST and UTGST are both are same or different?
Beta, UTGST is like SGST. So like how state charge SGST, union territory charge UTGST. So here when I write SGST for state, in the similar fashion, if it is a union territory, I will write UTGST. Correct, Beta?
Okay.
So UTGST is like SGST. Understood?
मतलब जब स्टेट और यूनियन टेरिटरी के बीच जब कोई ट्रांजैक्शन होगा
तो IGST लगेगा क्योंकि वो दो अलग अलग सी। आप एक बार ऐसा समझो कि UTGST इज लाइक अनदर स्टेट। हमने सिर्फ उसको दर्जा दिया यूनियन टेरिटरी का, राइट?
यस
सो जब आप ट्रांजैक्शन करोगे किसी भी यूनियन टेरिटरी के साथ, तो उस पे IGST लगेगा अगर आप दूसरी जगह बैठे हो तो। इफ यू आर नॉट इन दैट सेम यूनियन टेरिटरी एंड इफ यू आर डूइंग ट्रांजैक्शन विद अ यूनियन टेरिटरी पर्सन, what you will levy and pay is IGST.
ओके थैंक यू
Correct? Yes. Now coming to two more concepts. Compensation cess. What is this compensation cess? Now, for this, we go back to our previous discussion, origin based and destination based. The old tax was origin based, whereby the manufacturing state was getting the tax. The new GST is destination based, whereby the consuming state gets the tax. Now, when we decided to bring GST, so we had to change from origin to destination, I already explained. But here there was a challenge. The states, which were mainly manufacturing states, where there were more industries, even today you will find that some states are rich in its resources and hence they are majorly a manufacturing state, whereas some other states may not have that many industries are there everywhere, but they may not have that many industries, but they have huge population, so they are consuming state. Like I'll give you example. Today if you see, Maharashtra as a state has very few places which are having industries, but majorly the industries are in Gujarat, majorly the industries are in southern part, majorly now the government is focusing more on the northeastern states, so you will find many industries being set up there. But these states are not consuming what they are producing. In fact, they are producing so that it can be sold to people across India and even outside India. So these states had a problem before GST, when these states, let us take example of Gujarat, which is having many industries, was selling goods to any other state, Gujarat was getting the revenue because of the origin-based concept. But when GST was proposed, a big challenge was that now Gujarat will lose the revenue because the tax will go to the destination state. To counter this problem, the GST law, when it was introduced, it brought in an additional tax called as compensation cess, which will now be totally removed from 1st of Feb. It will be totally removed, excepting one or two items, but otherwise this compensation cess will be totally removed. Now, when GST law was brought in, they said besides your GST, now when I'm saying GST, remember I'm talking about all types of GST, C, S, UT, I, all GSTs. So besides GST, on some, not all, on only some goods and services, there will be additional tax called as compensation cess. This compensation cess would be collected only by center. And what center will do? Center will reimburse, center will compensate those states who lost because of GST. So as I just explained, which states are the losing states? The manufacturing states, because earlier they were getting more revenue from state sales tax. Even if the goods were sold outside their states, they were getting the state revenue. However, now they are losing that state revenue because GST will give a revenue to the consuming state. So whatever loss these states will incur, the center will reimburse to them the loss. And how center will reimburse them to the reimburse the loss to them? By charging an additional tax called as compensation cess. Correct? Prajya says when GST was introduced, state feared loss of tax. Yes, correct. So that is where the compensation cess was introduced, and whichever state suffered loss, the center would give them compensation. That is why compensation cess was introduced. You're right, Prajyot. Minu says state which suffer loss by GST gets compensation. Correct, Minu. Sir, if transaction happened between Delhi and Chandigarh, which GST is applicable? IGST. But Delhi is a different state and Chandigarh is different. So it will be IGST. Yes, Pawan. Pawan, you have any doubt, beta?
Yes, sir. You
Please.
just mentioned the compensation says.
Right.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
You are audible now. Please tell me.
Hello. Sir, you just mentioned about the compensation says. Okay, sir. In compensation says, if
Right.
any state government have lost due to the GST implement, okay, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Then central government pay the GST loss.
Huh.
If I am not wrong, sir. Okay,
Correct.
sir.
Compensate them the loss. Correct. So what is
Compensate
your
them.
question?
Sir, my question is, I think the last date of compensation is 31st March 2026, but you
2020?
6, I think,
No.
if
Technically,
I'm
the
not
last date
wrong.
of compensation cess was 30th of June. 30th
Oh,
of
okay.
June, correct? 2022.
Okay, sir.
That is 5 years after implementation of GST. After
5 years.
that date,
Yes, sir,
the
yes, sir. Yeah.
central
After
government
that, huh?
stopped giving compensation to the states. But
Okay, sir.
the compensation cess the central government is charging, and this will stop on 1st of Feb, or from 1st of Feb 26. Central government will stop charging compensation cess,
Okay, okay, okay.
excepting very few limited items.
Hi, yeah, yes, sir, I know that, about that.
Correct? Understood?
Yes, sir, yes. Understood, sir.
Okay. So this is all about compensation cess, students. Yes, Harshal.
सर कंपनसेशन सेस जो अभी आपने बोला कि अ, जो गवर्नमेंट कलेक्ट करते हैं एंड बाय द कट ऑफ डेट्स वो स्टॉप करते हैं राइट स्टेट एंड द सेंट्रल स्टॉप टू द लीव द कंपनसेशन सेस आफ्टर द डेट्स.
आपका क्वेश्चन क्या है बेटा?
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था सर, अगर कंपनसेशन सेस जो है तो कहाँ पे यूटिलाइज करते होंगे, मतलब वेयर
बेटा
टू
अभी मैंने
यूटिलाइज.
बताया, जो भी कॉम्पेंसेशन से सेंटर ने कलेक्ट किया, उससे सेंटर ने उन स्टेट्स को पैसा दिया जिनको जीएसटी आने से पहले 5 साल में लॉस हुआ.
Okay, so loss are set off, right?
करेक्ट. सेट ऑफ मींस वो लॉस को मैंने कॉम्पेंसेट कर दिया. आपको लॉस हुआ, मैंने आपको वो
Okay,
लॉस का पैसा दे दिया.
okay, right. Understood.
सर 5 इयर्स के बाद अब कंपनसेशन सेस नहीं लगता क्या?
कॉम्पेंसेशन सेस लगना और कॉम्पेंसेशन पे करना, ये दो अलग बातें हैं. सेंटर गवर्नमेंट ने 5 साल का प्रॉमिस किया था. जीएसटी लॉ को 5 साल कंप्लीट हुए 30 जून 2022 को. उस डेट के बाद से सेंटर गवर्नमेंट ने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को कॉम्पेंसेशन नहीं दिया, क्योंकि 5 साल का ही प्रॉमिस था. करेक्ट.
यस सर, यस
मगर
सर,
5 साल में 2 साल हमारे कोविड के चले गए, बराबर, 2020 से 22.
यस,
अब वो
यस
2020
सर,
से 22 में भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को सेंटर गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कॉम्पेंसेशन दिया गया. मगर तब
यस
क्योंकि
सर,
बिजनेस ही बंद थे, इकोनॉमी ही बंद थी, तो गवर्नमेंट को कलेक्शन तो हुआ नहीं.
यस सर,
तो जो गवर्नमेंट ने कॉम्पेंसेशन बांट दिया, वो पहले गवर्नमेंट को आना भी तो चाहिए. तो
यस
इसलिए
सर,
गवर्नमेंट ने कॉम्पेंसेशन सेस चालू रखा, जो अब पूरी
यस
तरह
सर,
से एक तरह से खत्म हो जाएगा 1 फरवरी से. तब अब गवर्नमेंट
यस सर।
देना तो बंद कर ही दिया है 2022 में, अब कलेक्ट करना भी बंद हो जाएगा.
सर लेकिन जिस स्टेट को लॉस होगा फिर वो लोग कैसे अपना सेटअप
बेटा
करेंगे?
तो 5 साल में देखो, ऐसे तो मैं जिंदगी भर कॉम्पेंसेशन देते रहूंगा, तब तो फिर बर्डन किस पे आने वाला है? कंज्यूमर पे आने वाला है. तो नुकसान
यस
कहीं
सर।
ना कहीं तो घूम फिर के हमारे इकोनॉमी का ही होगा ना. सी, अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, द मोर आई एम लिविंग
ले,
टैक्सेस, द मोर द प्रोडक्ट्स आर गेटिंग कॉस्टली फॉर यू, एंड द लेस यू आर कंज्यूमिंग.
लेकिन सर सेंटर तो सेस फिर भी हम लोगों से लेगी ही ना।
तो बेटा अभी बंद हो गया ना, उसका मैंने कारण बता दिया, आपने सुना नहीं क्या? 2 साल जो कोविड के
सर,
लॉस हुए, 2 साल में बिजनेस तो सारे
यस
बंद
सर,
थे. तो सेंटर को उस
यस
वक्त
सर,
कॉम्पेंसेशन सेस मिला
यस सर,
नहीं? मिला ना.
नो सर,
इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ने चालू रखा. अभी अब उनका वो लॉस, अब गवर्नमेंट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को जितना कॉम्पेंसेशन बांटा हुआ है वो पैसे रिकवर हो गए, तो अब उन्होंने बंद कर दिया कॉम्पेंसेशन सेस.
ओके सर,
ठीक है.
ओके सर।
यस
Sir,
मैथिली.
I'm Maithili. Sir, compensation says and reversal of ITC both are same or different,
No,
sir?
no, no, no. Altogether different concept, beta. ITC is altogether different. Reversal of ITC is altogether different. Fine.
Compensation is also different,
Yeah, compensation cess is a tax, additional tax which the government was levying. It has nothing to do with ITC reversal,
which
beta.
is which is we need to pay like GST.
Yes, yes, right, correct.
Okay,
Like GST,
okay, sir.
additionally you pay. So now on invoice, two taxes were levied: GST and compensation tax. Two separate taxes were levied, which is now
Yes,
stopping.
sir.
Correct?
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Yes, Aditi.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I just wanted to give a brief or kind of explanation for this. What I have understood from this is
Please,
this
please.
compensation cess is something like that, which says that before the GST, what was happening that state governments was, able to have some kind of a personal benefit from the taxes which they were getting from the public. But now, after the GST, the center government has fixed some fixed percentage of what they can get, what they can earn from taxes. So because of that, the state got very angry that like because of the center are kind of earning have been stopped because of the center has made this GST. So for that, the state center government make compensation says in which it says that it will provide a kind of a compensation to the state governments, that okay, we have done some applied GST, but we will give you for some years a compensation test so that you can
Perfect.
come on a balance and you can just come on a track that okay. So but after some years, this compensation has been stopped.
Correct. After 5 years, you're right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Regan, I'll come back to you. Let me just complete this point. Okay, chalo. Fast forward. Ask your question
Oh,
fast.
okay, sir. Sir, I have a doubt that compensation insists. Uh,
Ask your doubt, please.
sir, compensation insists. Tell me if I am right. It is a exception that state could ask the center that they could provide some amount for them
Correct.
like that.
That is right, beta. Fine. Now, coming to last concept for today, GST Council. Now, what is this GST Council? See, prior to GST, either center was levying the tax or respective state was levying the tax. Now in GST, we have merged, subsumed 17 of these taxes and brought both of them together. When I say we have brought both of them together, which I have mentioned here also, that jointly they will be charging GST together, where half part is of center, half part is of state, but they are going to do it jointly. How they are going to do jointly? So for that, a group is created which has our central finance minister, who is presently Honorable Nirmala Sitharaman Madam, plus all respective states finance ministers or revenue ministers. So, central finance minister plus every state's finance minister or revenue minister is part of this group called as GST Council. Now, obviously, the chairman, the head of this group is the central finance minister, and all other states' finance ministers are the other members of these groups. Now, since GST is a joint tax, both together are levying the tax and both together are taking decisions on everything, compensation says, everything, whatever you are studying and going to study in GST. So, how this decision is taking? This group meets regularly and they have a discussion, they have a meeting in which through voting, a decision is taken. Now, when we say voting, you all understand it means by majority. So through voting, let us say this decision, whether compensation says should continue or not. So everybody will do voting. And whatever is the majority, that decision is taken that, okay, from this date, compensation stops. From this date, this will start. From this date, this will stop. From this date, the rate will change from 12% to 5%. All these decisions, whatever GST law you are studying today and all amendments that you are studying or in future the amendments will come, are taken by this group, by this combined body of all states finance minister headed by the central finance minister, and this group, this body is called as the GST Council. So this is how all decisions in GST are taken. Yes, Muthulakshmi, but all these concepts are from your first chapter only. All these concepts which I am explaining right now, everything is from first module. I will go to the module just to show you that, see, these concepts we studied. Like, see, first part of this module is thoughts on taxes by various learned persons. You can just go through their thoughts. Like here they have given what Franklin said about taxes, what Chanakya said about taxes. That is just something, some introduction of the taxes. Then how GST started. Interestingly, GST is not something which came in 2017 only. We were aspiring to do something from 2000, the year 2000, and in year 2003, the government formed a tax force, which is Task Force on Fiscal Responsibility and Budget. This task force recommended that we should have a central GST, that is a GST on the national basis. At that time, our finance minister was Honorable Mr. P. Chidambaram. He tried to introduce GST in the Union Budget 2006-7, where he announced that they will implement GST from 1st April 2010. However, that time's government did not have that much majority and control in parliament, so they were not able to pass. Then when the government changed, and in 2014, the new government, which is the NDA government, came into existence, they again took up the same project of bringing in GST, and they brought in the most important thing, which we are going to study in the next class, that is the Constitution Amendment Bill. I've already given you the logic and the brief that in order to bring GST, you had to change the constitution. So to change the Constitution Amendment Bill was presented in 2014 itself, on 19th of December 2014. Let me inform you, you are not supposed to learn these dates, so don't worry, these dates are not to be learned. This bill was passed by Lok Sabha in May 2015 and by Rajya Sabha on 3rd August 2016. Subsequent to the ratification of bill by more than 50%, this bill finally received the assent of the president on 8th of September 2016. So after, as you know, all these procedures, so bill has to be passed by both the parliaments and then finally assent of president should be given. This became the act called as the Constitution 101st Amendment Act. Now this name you should remember, and the date you should remember is 8th of September. So this only thing you should remember, that 8th of September 2016, the Constitution Amendment Bill was passed, and it is now called as the 101st Constitution Amendment Act. It is through this act that GST was implemented by making various changes in the Constitution of India. Now, after this Constitution Amendment Act was passed, GST Council, which I just explained, was formed, where all the state representatives were there in the form of their finance ministers. Together, they sat down to make the GST laws, whatever we are studying or going to study. CGST Act, SGST Act, IGST Act, all these acts were passed by this council. And finally, these laws started getting passed by respective parliament. So the central parliament, that is the central government, you can say, more correctly, it is the parliament, passed the CGST Act on 27th March 2017, and also the IGST Act and the UTGST Act. All these were passed in March 2017. You have the dates given here, and it received the assent of the president on 12th of April 2017. Sorry. Thereafter, respective state legislatures also passed their respective state SGST Acts, and then from 1st of July, we all know the GST law was implemented. Now, at that time, our constitution had that Article 370 and 35A. Hence, the Jammu and Kashmir had that special status of not accepting a certain law passed by our Indian Parliament. So initially on 1st of July, they did not accept the GST law, but later on 8th of July, they also accepted the GST law. So technically on 8th of July, GST became applicable to entire India. Now this problem is solved from 2019. Now we have abrogated Article 370 and 35A. So now we no more require any uh, uh, this Kashmir government or state government's consent to do anything. Whatever is passed by our central parliament will be applicable even in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, GST, as I already explained, is incorporated by subsuming multiple indirect taxes. I have told you it is total 17 different taxes of center and state which were subsumed to make GST. Now, some more backdrop of GST. France is the first country who implemented GST. Now, see, we are using the word GST. Some countries call it as VAT. So you call it as VAT or GST, it is one and the same. So they implemented it for the first time in 1954. And let me tell you, even till date, USA does not have this. So UST still is having the old taxation. They have not yet changed to GST or VAT, just for your information. So the US is still long back. Presently, 160 countries have adopted either GST or some have called it as VAT. Now, interestingly, in most of these 160 countries, there is a single GST, there is a single tax. However, because of our federal structure, which I explained, which was a very important part in the initial first half an hour, because of our federal structure, we could not have a single tax. So, on the lines of Brazil and Canada, we implemented the dual GST. What is dual GST? Where both center and state together will be implementing the tax. So, following the Canadian model, we implemented the dual GST, right? So this is all backdrop of how GST law was implemented. Now in our next class, I will be explaining you the actual these pointers from the module so that your entire module thing will be covered with obviously whatever is already discussed by me earlier. That is already there, but whatever new pointers are there, that will be covered in the next class. So with this, I conclude my today's class, and I'm sure you all would have understood lot many things. Most importantly, how and why GST came into existence. Also, what were the challenges and what were the solutions that the government brought in to counter those challenges. Yes, Dhanalakshmi is asking me, sir, what does notwithstanding means? See, notwithstanding is a word which means in spite of. So whenever you get this word notwithstanding, read it as in spite of. Fine, Dhanalakshmi? Yes. So thank you very much, students. Now you can read the entire chapter at your end. Please read and come so that if you have any questions, doubts, I will be answering them in the next class. So all your doubts along with my explanation would get completed. Fine. So please come read this entire chapter. Yes, Harshal.
सर मुझे पूछना था कि अभी आगे आप कंसेप्ट फ्रॉम पॉइंट 3 आप लेंगे नेक्स्ट सेशन में
Sorry.
ये जो आपने अभी बताया कंसेप्ट्स अभी अगले सेशन में लेंगे राइट
मतलब अगले सेशन में मैं मॉड्यूल यहाँ से पढ़ना शुरू करूंगा. आगे भी कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स है जो मैं ऑलरेडी ले चुका हूँ. जो बचे हुए कॉन्सेप्ट्स है वो मैं लूंगा. आपका सवाल क्या, पूछिए.
सर मेरा सवाल ये था कि जो अभी हिस्ट्री जो अभी जेनेसिस सेकंड पॉइंट था सेकंड पॉइंट में जो भी ईयर्स थे एंड अमेंडमेंट्स
आपको
बिल
लर्न
था
नहीं करना है बेटा, वो मैंने पहले ही बता दिया. आपको लर्न नहीं करना, एग्जाम में वो ईयर्स वगैरह नहीं पूछते बेटा.
ओके इट्स ओनली कंसेप्चुअल बेस्ड
इट इज ओनली कॉन्सेप्ट बेटा.
ओके सर थैंक यू सर डाउट क्लियर
थैंक यू बेटा. थैंक यू वेरी मच. Bhavani is asking, is custom duty payable? See, there are presently only limited some 25, 26 products on which we are charging customs duty on export. Otherwise, for all other goods, we are not charging any custom duty. Why? I told you the reason. Because we want our goods to be cheaper in foreign countries so that we get more orders from foreign country. Anyways, the foreign country is going to levy the tax on import. That is why, Bhavani, we are not charging export duty except for those 25, 26 products. Manish, somebody is asking for the WhatsApp group link. So if you can repost it, it would be great. Yes. So thank you very much, everyone. Vivek asked, sir, do we need to maintain notebook? See, GST has very less practical part. For theoretical and conceptual part, you can parallelly start noting down whatever I am also noting. You can also parallelly note down in your notebooks. Plus, whenever you are studying from the module, whatever new thing you feel you need to note down so that you can remember, that you can note down. But I will prefer you note down in the module itself so that when you're revising, you don't have to refer to different books. Thank you, Maithili Bada. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Please read this whole chapter and come. Thank you, Manish ji. Good night to you. Take care. Good night, everyone.